everyone, and welcome. We're here from the Autistic Pride Aberdeen committee today. I'm Flick,
I'm Nigel.
And I'm Marion.
and what are we here to do today, Marion?
We've had some brilliant questions through from people about what to expect with our festive Spinfo Dump session, our info dumping session that we've got on the 10th of December. So we thought it'd be a great idea to collate all these questions together, and then the three of us could have a chat and see if we can answer these questions for folks.
Cool. So I guess the first thing then, Marion, is how does the event work?
That is a really good question, isn't it? So a couple of years ago, we decided for Autistic Pride that one of the best ways to celebrate our autistic identity is to have a session where people can come along and talk about the things that they are really passionate about. It's not often that we get a platform where we can just talk about the things that we love with a willing audience. And info dumping is a beautiful aspect of autistic love language and communication and culture and all these good things. So we decided that we wanted to host this event. I think this is our third or fourth time running one now. So we decided Autistic Pride Aberdeen is going to be hosting this event so that people can come along and share their interests. So people can register in advance if they want to participate in doing some info dumping, or they can tell us on the day. And they can register in advance by getting in touch with us. So getting in touch through the Autistic Pride Aberdeen Facebook page or through the Aurora Facebook page. And then we'll just take everyone in the order that they ask to talk. Yeah. I think, is that everything from there, Flick? Can I ask you the next question? Yep. Yeah. What platform do you use and how do I access it?
Okay, so first of all, you're going to need to follow the link that's in below to take you to the Eventbrite page, and that's how you actually register for the event to make sure that you get the link sent through. On Eventbrite, it will just ask you for your name and your email address. So you pop those in, and then you will be emailed out a Zoom link. So the actual event itself will take place over Zoom, and you just need to click on that link on the night at the time that it's starting, and it'll take you there. Now, some of you might already have Zoom, and that's cool. You might have the app. If you don't worry, because it will just open up in your browser when you click on the link, so you don't need to download anything in advance or anything like that. Okay, and talking of these sort of techie things, Nigel, what technology do I need for the event?
I think the answer to that is if you're watching this video, you probably already have the technology that you need, because all you need is a device that can connect to the internet and browse the internet. Flick already said that Zoom can open in a browser, so if you can open a browser, then you can connect to it. If you want to appear on screen, then you need your device to have a camera. Of course, most phones do have a camera. And if you want to be speaking, then you have to have some ability, a microphone, so you can actually speak and be heard. And obviously, you have to have speakers so you can hear what people are saying as well. So any device really that can connect to the internet and with a camera and a microphone. So a phone, a tablet, a laptop, a computer, all of those will be absolutely fine. Yeah, I think that's probably that. But now the trickiest question of the lot, I think. How do I choose a subject when there are so many to pick from, Marion?
I don't know. I think that's the point. It's really hard to pick, isn't it? I'm talking about something that is Star Trek related again for I think the second or third time at this particular one, but it's looking at it from a slightly different angle, and I'm really excited about it. But there are so many exciting topics that you can choose from. I know it can be really difficult, and there are so many things that you might be really passionate about. I would suggest having a think about what you want to fill some time with. If you want to do an info dump, and you don't have to. And bear in mind that we've run this a couple times before. We have definite plans for running it again next year, at least once, possibly twice. So it's not the last time that you're going to have. But maybe you can always see how you feel on the day. If there's something that you want to talk talk about. You can have a listen to what other people are talking about and see if that sparks something. Some people in the past have had a look at their house and said, oh, I want to talk about my Lego collection, like mine, or I want to talk about my favourite plushie. I want to talk about a hobby that I've been doing for a while. Whatever it is that you want to do, we're here for it, and we can't wait to hear what you're so passionate about. Does that cover that, Flick?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, well, my next question for you then is, how long should I plan to talk for? Is there a minimum or a maximum time?
Good question. So there's no minimum. You can literally, if you want, just pop on camera and say, hi, this is my little bear. It's called Judah and I love it. And that would be fine if that's all you want to say. There's no minimum. We're not going to force you to speak for, a certain amount of time. Unfortunately, we do need to kind of cap them a little bit, though, in terms of the maximum. And that's purely to make sure that everybody gets a chance to have a little Spinfo Dump if they so choose. So we would ask that you try to keep it to a maximum of sort of 5 to 10 minutes, just to make sure everybody gets a turn. Okay. And also, Nigel, I love this question. Can I include props, outfits, or images, and how best to do this?
It's a great question, isn't it? The answer is yes. You don't have to, is the first thing to say. Nobody's obligated to anything within this, but if you want to, absolutely yes. We'd love to see them. So if you want to take props, I mean, Flick and Marion have already just shown you a couple of props. It's as easy as that. As long as your camera's on, you can hold them up and we can see them. If you have images or you've prepared a PowerPoint presentation, quite a few people like to do that, then Zoom has the ability to share screen. And it's very straightforward. You press the share screen button within Zoom. You pick which element of your screen you want to share. It puts up a list of things that are currently running on your computer, and then you click that share button and other people can see it. So it's very straightforward. If you want to be wearing a costume while you're doing it, brilliant. But equally, you don't have to. There's no obligation, again, for any of this, but anything you wish to share, we'd love to see it. That probably not much of that. So there's kind of one question kind of tagged on to that, really, I suppose, is, do I have to speak at all?
No.
Marion? No?
Yeah, you don't have to speak at all if you don't want to. People are welcome to come along, keep their camera off if they want to, and they don't have to speak if they don't want to. That's absolutely fine. You can have your camera on if you want. Entirely up to you. We have had people in the past who wanted to share an info dump, but they didn't want to speak. So what they did was they sent us through a presentation that they'd already prepared, and we shared that presentation and we spoke through it for them, which was lovely, and we were really very, very happy to support that. If you want to pop your camera on for a second with you off to the side and show us something, then you can do that too. If you want to use the chat, then we absolutely encourage people to do that. One of my favourite things about whenever we have events is seeing people connecting with each other in the chat and supporting each other and saying, oh my goodness, I love that too. It is absolutely beautiful. So you can completely participate as much as you want in any way that you want with any medium that you want. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Flick, are there any subjects that I should avoid that might upset people?
So I think there are probably a couple of things to keep in mind with this one. Firstly, it is a family-friendly event. We have had kids participating in the past, and we are expecting some to come along this time as well. So if you try to aim for sort of 12A, PG-13 kind of level in terms of that, and just keep it family friendly. The other thing to really bear in mind as well is that many of our committee members, and indeed the participants coming along, do belong to the LGBT plus community as well. So again, this is very much a queer friendly event too. So make sure that any of your content is family friendly and queer friendly, and you should be all good. Okay, so do people get to ask questions during or after, Nigel?
Again, it's a completely optional thing, but the answer is yes, provided people want to ask questions and people are okay with being asked questions and are happy to answer them, of course. So yeah, it would depend on the individual when they want, they might say, I'm happy for you to ask as I'm going through. They might want questions to be saved to the end. They might not want questions to be asked at all. But I think lots of people will be sharing lots and lots of really interesting things and will be happy to talk about them and will quite quite want to receive questions on them. So yeah, the opportunity for questions is usually there for most people, but again, doesn't have to be, and nobody's obligated. And I guess the final thing I want to ask really is, will the recording be shown to anybody other than the participants on the day, Marion?
There is no recording, so I know that for a lot of events that Flick and I have run in the past, there and that we'll be doing in the future, there will be a recording, but not at these ones. So with the Spinfo Dump sessions, it's completely private. The only people who will see your info dump are the people who are there at the time. A couple of us committee members have talked about getting together and recording some of our ones at a separate time, so then people can see the kind of things that that we've talked about. But there will be absolutely no recording during the event, so nobody will see anything outside. So if you want to come along and you're not open about being autistic yet, this is a safe space for you to be doing that. And I think that covers all of the questions that people have sent in. But if anybody else has any other questions, what can they do?
So you can pop them in the chat below to ask a question. You can send them through via like a private message on either the Autistic Pride Aberdeen Facebook page or the Aurora Facebook page, or you can email the questions through as well. And however you ask, we'll make sure to get back to you ahead of the event. All right, and we hope to see some of you there, don't we?
Absolutely.
Perfect.
I'm really excited. I can't wait.